Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Wednesday, July 28th. And we're starting the fourth week of Big Brother, although we're a day from a new head of household. It's 4 weeks ago today that they entered the house. 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? Wait, 4. I don't know. 4 full? I don't know. Forget it. This is the fourth week. How about that? We're starting the fourth week. Mike, shut up and just move along. So, we have a live eviction tomorrow. We have Brent going. I don't think Brent's staying. There was a little bit overnight, by the way. There was a little bit of wavering, a little bit of reconsidering, a little bit of possibility, which CBS will love. They will probably use that for sure in the edit to make you think that, maybe Brent is staying. I'm guessing they'll find some other reasons to show it too. But the point is, Brent's not staying. Brent is way too... he's not liked by people. He's not a nice person as far as the way he treats women in the house. He's not aggressive. He's not overly mean per se, although he does say things. I think he called Alyssa a gold digger last night. He was joking, but was he joking? Brent's just got a lot to figure out about how to socialize with people properly. And it's lost him a chance of staying in the house for sure. His social game was not good. For those that had compared him to Cody, Big Brother, last year's Cody, no. He is a little bit more like Paulie than Cody for sure, if he's like either of those brothers. But I also, someone at Big Brother Network pointed out that the house guests are spending, there's no campaigning going on. And there hasn't been really a lot of campaigning going on. And so the house guests are free to do other things. They don't need to worry about who they're sending home because they've already decided and they're not changing their mind. So let's talk about the future. And let's start playing next week's. And they did this all last week. They were playing this game. They were playing this week's game last week, in which last week they decided that Brent was the next target. And now this week they're playing next week's game. However, next week's game is a little bit more interesting because they are definitely on the fence about who they want to go after. Different people have different agendas. Alliances are not as strong as there are so many alliances, but they're not all very strong. And big alliances are never very strong. There's always some kind of a hole in them, unless there's a really obvious other side of the house. And in this case, there isn't an obvious other side of the house. Even the outsiders that are on Dolfica's chart, if you look at the map, even Whitney has some fairly strong allies within the house and people that are just like, no, I think I want to keep Whitney. No, I think I want to, I'd rather get rid of so-and-so. Alyssa and Christian are seen as a very big target by some of the people because they're like, they're a duo. They are a duo. We've got to get rid of one of them. And they're even split on which one to get rid of because some people are like, we've got to get rid of Alyssa, but she's weak without Christian, but we want to keep Christian we want to get rid of Christian because Alyssa is weak without Christian, but we also want to keep Christian because he would be good to have on our team. But Christian's really strong, guys. Do you really want to bring in a member who's potentially stronger than you into your own alliance? I don't know. That means you're trusting the rest of your alliance that they're not going to say, ooh, maybe I ought to keep Christian over you. I guess the biggest thing that happened late last night was Tiffany cam talking, and I know there's some people that really hate cam talking, but screw you people. It gives us an insight into the game as long as you can figure out if the person is not, doing it to gain favor. If they are telling us what their real thoughts are on the game, it is a hell of a lot better than the diary room, which is edited by Big Brother. It only shows us what we need to see. At least cam talking is a mind's eye view of what the person is thinking in most cases. Not always, in most cases. In this case with Tiffany, it seems like it was a pretty darn good view into what is going on in her mindset. And her mindset is, how long do I want to stay with the cookout? that's what she was saying, and although she wasn't saying it as much as what she was saying, there has been talk by like Xavier talking about the cookout, saying we're setting a precedent here. This is going to be our one shot as a group of black folks to actually form a really strong alliance and run this game and run this house. And so it'll be the one chance, because from now on, every other season of Big Brother going forward, people are going to say, well, remember the cookout. They may not be saying they're in an alliance, but we better remember it. And they're not wrong. Xavier's not wrong in that fact. That definitely will be something people are going to talk about. Well, they had an alliance, and God, I can see that causing all kinds of problems down the road. But all right. But Tiffany's like, screw that. I'm here for my game. I'm not here for an agenda. So some people have said, like, well, Frenchie said he was there for an agenda. And Tiffany's like, hell no, I ain't here for an agenda. I'm here for me. And so the point is, Tiffany's like, I don't know how loyal I need to be. She said the person I am, even though she said I don't have a final two alliance with Claire, the person I am the closest with at this point is Claire. Which is an insight, which is something we hadn't seen, which is not going to necessarily be exposed in a diary room, and I won't even necessarily believe it if she says in a diary room, but when she says it to a camera when nobody else is in the room, I'm going to believe it. So I am thankful that we have Tiffany Cam talking to tell us what the hell is going on in her mind. And what the hell is going on is that she's torn about being loyal to the cookout and being loyal to Claire. And I personally would rather see her be loyal to Claire. I think it's better for her game, especially since I know that Kylan and Xavier, I think, are talking about getting rid of Tiffany. They're not loyal. They're like, she's a huge target. We got to look at getting rid of her sooner or later. Not necessarily before they make jury, but at some point. So, yeah, that's the big thing that I think to take away from last night is that they reaffirmed, they did talk, some of them talked about not keeping Brittany and getting rid of Brent, or keeping Brent and not Brittany, and then decided against it. And then Tiffany is kind of basically saying, look, I gotta work with Claire. That's who I have to work. Now, this could change, because God knows this house spends an awful lot of time talking about alliances. They do two things. They talk a lot about alliances and reaffirm the situation, and they improv. God, do they improv. I want to say it's almost like Big Brother casting went to an improv class at a major metropolitan area or something and said, look, we're taking you and putting you in the Big Brother house. All of you. We're taking the Groundlings, except for they're not quite as funny as the Groundlings might be, which the Groundling is an improv group. And we're putting you in the Big Brother house, and you're going to spend your spare time improving and pretending all kinds of different situations and workshopping stuff. And I don't know. It's quite the thing that pretty much every night they seem to now fall into this. We're going to do the big blue couch. Ha ha. They discuss the irony of not irony, but they discuss the double entendre meaning of the big blue couch. And those of you that don't know, I'm not going to explain it to you. But yes, you notice there is not a blue couch in the Big Brother house. Yeah. So that was discussed for a little bit last night. And the whole thing, it's entertaining. It is entertaining to watch these guys do things, but every single night doing a faux Jerry Springer kind of show where they just make up things about each other and laugh and react to it, and it's fun, and it would certainly keep you entertained if you were in the house. That's the thing. It's keeping them entertained. And it is entertaining for, half an hour or something when you tune it in, but at some point you're like, okay, enough of this. All 14 house guests sitting around the house doing this every night is like, come on. Now, it's not like they aren't talking game when they're not doing this. They certainly are, and I guess at some point you go like, good God, this is all you guys do is form alliances and plot and plan, and so I don't know what I want Other than, I guess it's been so rock solidly aligned as to what they want to do that I feel like it's like, man, let's get to Thursday. Let's get it over with. Let's see if they really do blindside Brent tomorrow night, or if he figures it out. I don't think it's flipping. Traffic. Sorry. Lots of traffic today. But that's the major news. I said I wasn't going to have much, so it's okay. Oh, I know one of the other things. There's the other thing that came up. Tiffany. This is part of Tiffany's reasoning that she's willing to go against. I think one of the reasons that she's willing to kind of go against the cookout and sees Claire as her strongest ally. So Kylan said something. Remember, Kylan, Claire, and Tiffany are have-nots, so they're up in the have-not room. And at some point yesterday, Kylan said something to Tiffany, which implied that Sarah Beth had told Kylan about her relationship with Sarah. I don't remember what the alliance is called right now. Oh, so there you go. Sarah Beth, Tiffany, and Claire. Sarah Beth told Kylan about that alliance, and Kylan then either accidentally or intentionally told Tiffany that Sarah Beth had talked about it, which said to Tiffany, so Sarah Beth is closer to Kylan than she is to us because she just spilled the beans. And so, I think Tiffany's questioning. She says, I didn't know that Sarah Beth was so close to Kylan. And Kylan certainly hasn't said I have a really close relationship with Sarah Beth. So Kylan's keeping a secret, and obviously Kylan must know that Tiffany is kind of keeping a secret of an alliance. So when you get those alliances exposed that you haven't told someone that you're supposed to be close with about, kind of puts a big gaping hole on your relationship with that person. And that's kind of what happened with Tiffany and Kylan last night. Now, again, Kylan is definitely thinking at some point he's going to have to get rid of Tiffany. So don't think that Kylan is blindly loyal to Tiffany. He's not. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. I mean, I'm starting to loop. I don't want to do a Big Brother thing and loop over the same conversation over and over again. But the point is, the major takeaway for me overnight is a reassessment of taking Brent or not, or keeping Brent or not, and yes, they want to get rid of Brent. There was also discussions about Whitney. Derek X is not in as quite a good a relationship with Tiffany and Claire as I had hoped. That's me personally. That was me rooting for that particular alliance, but I think, the whole it's hard to call. It's gonna not go exactly the way anybody wants it to go or expects it to go, and I don't think Derek, Tiffany, and Claire are going to be a rock solid alliance, especially now that Hannah has cropped up as kind of a showmance, not quite official showmance, but a flirtmance with Derek. I think that has kind of put a little bit of not a wedge, but it certainly has caused his attentions to be diverted elsewhere. And I don't know if that's good for his game, because I don't know if Hannah is seen as a power player. And I may have mentioned this yesterday, but if not, I know I talked about it last night. Even Hannah is not fully considered a member of the cookout. Some people consider her, like I think Tiffany considers Hannah a full-fledged member of the Cookout Alliance. But I have heard other people, and I can't remember exactly who at this point now, mention that they basically flat out saying that Hannah is not a member of the Cookout. We're going to keep her as long as we can, but she's definitely not a member of the Cookout Alliance. So, her game isn't as strong as it could be. Yay, traffic. That's it, I think. Sorry, I'm now coming up on traffic, and I think that's a good sign for me to kind of wrap things up. What else to talk about? Okay, we're done talking about Big Brother for the most part. I'm anticipating more Alliance talk maybe today, more Big Blue Couch or improv. I don't know. I'm not expecting anything major to develop. They have. The other thing is they've been giving the camera a lot, and that's part of what brings on this acting and this improving, and so I don't want to complain on the one hand, but on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, maybe don't give them the opportunity to play to the camera quite so much. So, all in all, I think the Big Brother button pusher wasn't quite as busy yesterday, so I shouldn't complain about that either. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up, Mike. Yes, awkward pauses. I did. Okay, so we're done talking officially about Big Brother. Let's wrap this up, Mike. Yes, I will. Okay, thank you. I did post a non-Big Brother CarCast last night. I posted part 2 of my Vegas trip story. I went back and somebody told me they had gone back and listened to some of my other ones. So there's now 51 episodes of my non-Big Brother podcast. If you search for Mike's Mostly Non-Big Brother CarCast, you will find that out there on the internet. And there's 51 episodes. I did not do anything about my trip to Italy, which I'm not surprised because, in part, I was in Italy, and I didn't feel like probably recapping it when I got back from Italy. I think we probably rolled right into Big Brother, and it was like, nope, not doing it. So that's kind of disappointing, though, to me, because I'm realizing how much I did like a 7-parter about my trip to Cuba, my cruise. It's not called Cuba; it says cruise, is what the series is called. But basically, it was a cruise. So it's all about the cruise, and a couple of 3 episodes of it were about the day that we spent in Cuba, in Havana, and so that's there. And then I spent a few days in Washington D.C. A couple of years ago. And I did some podcasts about that. There's just some other random podcasts about different things. None of it almost none of it is related to Big Brother, although I think I saw one title was about Big Brother UK. So I have talked about other seasons of Big Brother and other TV shows and stuff like that. Anyways, that's out there. I'm recapping my trip to Las Vegas from the beginning of the month, and I threw up my 2nd episode, and now I need to record another one, which I haven't done yet. So that's on my to-do list for very shortly. And then finally, my patrons. Again, I have another new patron, a returning patron, Emily. I knew the name seemed familiar when I saw that Emily had become a patron. Or it doesn't say you have a person becoming a patron again. It says welcome your new. You get an alert from Patreon every time someone becomes a patron, and so I see the email come through, and it was like, Emily, oh, that was E. That has to be that E that popped into my YouTube live stream last night, because I did do a YouTube live stream on the way home, and there's someone named E popped in, and I said, I bet that's the E that popped in, and sure enough, it was. And it's someone who had been a patron in the past and had stopped subscribing because I really wasn't talking that much, and I don't blame her. And she re-upped, so she's not a new patron, she's a re-patron, I guess is what you call it. And thank you to her. Okay, with that, folks, and almost 20 minutes of me talking to myself, I'm going to wish you a happy Wednesday. The calm before the storm. I don't know who's going to win Head of Household tomorrow, and it may be very straightforward. Maybe I don't think it'll be straightforward. I think it's going to be hard to put up 2 people next week. So I think things may just be about to get very interesting starting tomorrow in the house. I think that alliances are going to have to get a little bit more messy. I think people are going to get a little bit more upset. I don't think it's going to be a quiet week. I think there's going to be campaigning. I don't think whoever tries to if they try to blindside somebody, that they're going to be totally oblivious and think, oh, I must be fine. I don't think Britney's going to go up as another pawn again. Maybe she will, though. Or maybe she'll actually be the one going out, because she is one of the names that has been out there as she needs to go next. Britney and Whitney were the hot topics for a while, but now we're hearing a lot of Alyssa and Christian, and Hannah's name has been tossed out there. There's a lot of names out there floating around. We'll have to see which one actually grabs a hold. If Derek Frazier gets head of household, I don't know what's going to happen. And there has been talk about throwing it to the Jokers. And Azah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Be well. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow for sure. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.